Ladies and gentlemen, hello, and welcome back to the MLG Studios here in New York City. Nick, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
What's your favorite part about the New York City skyline?
You know what? I like the different roofs on every building. Each part of the skyline has a different architecture on the way its roof goes together.
There's nothing like the New York City skyline, and I'm so happy we were able to feature those shots. I think it makes the show a lot better, in my personal opinion. But what are we doing right now, Nick?
So right now, of course, we're doing the Group E in the WCS Premier League. This is the round of 32. 4 players in each group. The top 2 advance in round of 16. So far, we've seen Nesty take out Minigun and Apocalypse take out Fenix. They advance to the winners round.
Can I interrupt?
Yes.
Is take out the proper
Defeat.
Well, is that even enough to say what exactly happened?
They kind of crushed their opponents.
Okay.
2-0, 2-0.
Better.
It's fair to say they definitely they definitely destroyed their opposition. Of course, the 2 Koreans.
Nesty demolishing the group.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, Nesty beat Apocalypse by more than he beat Minigun. Watching the games.
Yeah.
I think they were more convincing. Either way, Nesty just unstoppable. 4-0.
Yeah.
Close doesn't count, right? It doesn't matter. It wins a win. Nesty 4-0, destroying the group.
I feel like the battle for second should be.
I think it's gonna be close.
Very interesting.
It is. It is. I could see the winner of Minigun versus Fenix going up against Apocalypse is going to be a very tight match.
It would be, of course, it would be a rematch at Phoenix because Phoenix lost to Apocalypse. No
Yes.
extended series here, so it'd just be a standard best of 3. But a very important match. And honestly, I'm looking at the lineup of matches here, and on paper, I don't think Minigun's out of it. I mean, we got.
Oh, no.
We obviously know he has trouble with PVZ, and we obviously know he was playing Nesty, who is Nesty. And I'm afraid
having trouble Nesty.
I'm starting to rhyme on accident again, but you know, Minigun. There's only 2 Terrans here, so I think Minigun definitely has a chance to take it. Of course, Phoenix on the other side of things, he might want vengeance here. Of course, he stated he's coming back, he's ready, he's gonna play his heart out, and I feel like this should be a very exciting matchup. We got the once again the 2 non-Koreans in the losers match, but the good news is one of them will advance to the next match.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Of course, this is all live. Right now, we're waiting for Phoenix to stop declining the lobby invitation.
Well, you know, he's probably debating his TVP strategy. And, you know, one thing about Phoenix is TVP is his strongest matchup. And I think that dates back to in Brood War. I mentioned it before.
Yeah.
He played TVP and PVT. He was a Terran player, but he avoided playing Terran Mirror by playing Protoss versus Terran. And so he played both sides of that matchup at the pro level in Brood War. So he's very, very familiar with that matchup from both sides, and that carries into StarCraft 2 as well. He just, I mean, he doesn't switch races anymore, but he's very, very strong in the matchup. He loves doing aggressive drop play.
Yeah.
And TVP is a matchup where I think that's strongest aspect of Terran.
So if you had to pick right now, which of these 3 players will advance to the round 16 in second place in Group E? Is it going to be Phoenix, Minigun, or Apocalypse?
You know, I have to go with Minigun.
Oh, wow.
I have so much faith in Minigun's.
You're a believer.
I'm a believer of Minigun until he goes to a land.
Do you know what his middle name is?
Richard?
Dang it.
A lot of people think it's something different.
I know.
But it looks like all the players in the lobby. So
you know, I heard he's officially changing his name. His
Yes?
middle name. He's going to go to the birth certificate shop and get that done. You can do that, you know.
A lot of, there's a lot of different middle names thrown around for that guy.
Which one is true? All right.
Let's start the game. It's going to get
Oh,
number one.
I'm the dude.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you doing? So we're going to get in game number 1. The map's going to be Belshir Vestige. And this map, of course, 2 things strong about it. A lot of ramp play.
Yes.
And then also drops are very good as well because you know, while people are trying to defend the ramps, they're moving along the right and left side. The drops into the main, especially as people try to move up to take the 3rds and the 4th bases, can be particularly devastating.
PVT is very interesting on this match. You know, it's I've seen so many different builds, so many different strategies sought after and whatnot. You know, I've seen those blink openings happen off of 2 base. Protoss has been doing that. There's a decent amount of airspace, but what's really interesting to me is which 3rd is taken by each player, because there's a lot of people I feel like who would rather take the 3rd that's underneath their main rather than the one that's pretty much on the other side of the map, it feels like, and your more natural 3rd, if you're Minigun, of course, to the right over here. So this should be very interesting indeed. I'm really excited to see what happens here, of course. This is a very important match. Again, guys, a reminder. This is a best of 3 to determine who's going to go on to play Apocalypse for a chance to advance to the round of 16. The loser of this game will be out. of the Premier League of WCS America Season 1. In the top left-hand location, we have the red Terran player, a man of multiple middle names. Representing Team Root Gaming, he is Minigun. His opponent in the bottom right-hand location, the blue Terran player, representing Team Incredible Miracle, hailing from Peru. He is the defending 2012 WCS Peruvian champion. He is Fenix.
I'm super interested to see how Fenix opens.
Okay.
And the reason I say Fenix is because Minigun tends to play more standard builds. He's a pretty standard player as far as things go, and that's obviously nothing wrong. The majority of world-class players are play standard openings. They're standard for a reason. Phoenix is one of those guys, though, who sometimes does some crazy openings, especially against Protoss. He may play normal until 2 bases and then start doing this crazy aggressive stuff, but I have seen him do some weird 1-base openings, very harass-orientated as well. So we'll have to see which way he goes. A little bit of a spike
stutter there from Phoenix. Yeah. Hopefully he's okay.
Of course, he's playing from Peru.
Yeah.
Something to note, being the national champion of Peru for basically professional RTS for the last 14 years.
Yeah.
Or so. I don't think he's been playing Brutal quite that long, but definitely like 8 years at least. So very, very well known from that region.
Maybe he's getting a Marine first, and then a Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper comes out second. Okay. It's pretty standard to get the Marine first with this. Usually don't quite have that 50 gas ready in time. And the Marine's nice because it pushes the scouting probe away. Of course, Minigun saying, you know what? Scouting probes are for suckers. I want to get economy. And I don't mind that.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes, like, there's so many times where I play and I scout a Terran base and I just see, like, 2 depots and a barracks at the top. And I'm like, wow, that was fun. I just lost some minerals crossing the map for that, right? Is that really... and other times it becomes worth it if you see command center first, you can play a little greedier and things like that. So sometimes it's worth it, sometimes it's not, especially if you feel you're familiar with your opponent's playstyle and you're pretty confident the way they'll open.
Interesting. We see a Sentry as the second unit here. So some players will go, we'll skip the Zealot, go straight to Stalker, 1 Stalker and a Mothership Core. And we're seeing here Minigun electing to go for the Zealot first and then the Sentry soon after. Because the earliest Sentry is very useful for a number of reasons. First, you could have that force field ability. You know, because your Sentry is going to be accumulating energy. Second, Guardian Shield, very instrumental in the early portions. Third is, of course, Hallucinate, which is free. You can use that whenever you get 100 energy. So I guess free in the sense of you don't have to upgrade anything, but you still have to spend energy to make it happen. The Reaper going to try to sneak by into the main. He is going to be successful.
Oh, he could get cornered here.
Wow,
I actually,
that's interesting. He just immediately backed up.
If he didn't, he would have died.
Yeah.
And I feel if Minigun knew his Mothership Core was almost out, he probably could have actually...
baited that a little bit?
He could have kept the Zealot Sentry on the low ground.
Yep.
And cut off the Reaper. Maybe. I mean, the Reaper's so fast, it probably actually wouldn't have died anyway. He could run past the Zealot Sentry without dying. He's got 60 life, so they'll only get 1 hit off, so... he probably wouldn't kill anyway, at least without having to use the force field. But cool moves there. And both players, you know, well... Phoenix knows exactly what's going on. He knows it was a 1-gate expansion based on a Nexus timing. Minigun's going to wait to really get the Observer out before he can really know exactly what's going on. Of course, he hasn't scouted yet. And the advantage in out scouting is you don't lose any economy. You can use that hallucination. So that's the advantage of getting that Sentry so early, is you get that energy built up. And you can use that scouting technique, and that's, you know, it's a free scout. Like you mentioned before, Guardian Shield uses energy, but there's no resources being spent in a scouting probe or having to wait for the Observer.
Phoenix going for a Widow Mine opening here. And
Minigun's
going to scout it immediately. Yeah. It's going to be a Widow Mine drop attempted with some Marines. But my question is, I feel like Phoenix is still going to go for it. But it's going to be up to Minigun to properly prepare for it.
It will be. And he has all the tools, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he has 3 Gateway units now. By the time the Medevac crosses the map, he should have at least 5. Plus he has a Mothership Core. Plus he'll have he could have up to 3 Observers out by the time that it comes out as well. So, you know, 1 Observer to keep an eye on your opponent's progression of the build, if they're getting a fast third or whatever. And then another Observer in your main, another Observer in your natural is really the best way to approach this.
Of course, he has that Mothership Core, which is able to do Photon Overcharge once he gets 100 energy. So we'll definitely be looking out for that, and he does have that much energy. In fact, if he can get to 200, that'd be great too.
You know, Phoenix is moving out with a lot of Marines and Widow Mines as well. He could really threaten the front. And the Mothership Core isn't in position to put down that
Photon overcharge.
Photon. Oh yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
my mind blank there.
That's fine.
Photon overcharge, and without that, he could lose a few probes.
Yeah, we have a little squadron of Marines. Of course, the goal of these Marines and Reapers here is to, while the Mothership Core and the other units are in the main, go after those probes at the natural expansion. And Minigun has, it looks like, a Sentry and a Zealot there, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal, but 2 Sentries there, in fact, so but he has to be very careful. But here comes the Marines and Reapers, of course, trying to distract his opponent. The medevac going straight into the main base. Widowmine is actually going to be able to drop down here, taking down 2 probes. Not bad at all. Photon overcharge going down into the Nexus. Meanwhile, looks like the Sentry should be able to take care of the Marine and Reaper at the natural. And overall, Minigun doing a great job holding this off.
He is. The Reaper actually gets picked up on a medevac. A Widowmine. Ooh. Minigun with some great micro. Barely pulls the probes away from that. The Widowmine would have taken him out the natural. Reaper stays behind. He's probably going to regret that decision.
Did it discharge, the Widowmine?
It did not, no.
Oh.
It still has cooldown.
Oh my gosh, there's still a Widowmine here. Minigun.
Ooh! That was brutal, man. That was not fun for Minigun.
Where's that Observer? I'm so confused.
He has
Observer,
2.
you have one job.
Yeah. It's in the natural. It's not where it should be. And no, he has 3, exactly like I said. But the one in the main is leaving. It's leaving. Where are you going? Oh, is this one of those games? I've every Protoss has had those games.
Where you just can't find your Observer? Kind of
no. It's where you think you killed the Widowmine, and then it just kills some probes.
Oh my gosh, that was the biggest one. Up to 10 kills on that Widowmine.
Okay, now he's
Minigun, get your Observer
He is
and deal with it, please.
It's a
For the sake
Widowmine,
of
man.
the progress of this game.
All right, that Widowmine is gonna go down, but it definitely accomplished its mission.
Units lost.
That
Not
was
terrible, but the probe count is what's interesting. It's still relatively even, so it's not like it's the end of the game here,
yeah.
by any means.
Oh no, it's not.
Minigun's still progressing his tech. He's got 2 gases, natural expansion going to double forge. Twilight Council done, but more importantly, Fenix, he's got that 3rd orbital on the ground at the 3rd.
And he's up to 5 barracks now.
5 barracks.
Yeah,
That's
where Terran wants to be at. I mean, eventually, obviously, you want to be higher, but 5 barracks is enough that there's no timing attack that can really take him out. He's got the right amount of production.
So we have 1-1 about to finish here for Minigun, and +2 weapons already underway for Fenix. So Minigun a little bit behind in that regard, but not too far behind at all. Meanwhile, we have a medevac with the Widowmine inside, looking to do some more damage to that economy of Minigun. And Fenix, so good about this drop play.
Yeah, it looks like he might do a 2-prong attack, dropping in main and natural at the same time.
All right, we have those medevacs heading to the main base at the same time. The Widowmine being dropped at the natural expansion, and it looks like it's gonna get, not sure how many kills, but there is gonna be a drop in the main base as well. Only 1 medevac. It looks like one of them was taken out by Minigun, so great control there. Colossus coming forward as well, and I think Minigun is doing a very solid job dealing with this.
Yes, he used 1 probe sacrificially to distract that Widowmine, so only taking 1 loss in his natural. Clearing up the main very cost efficiently, and as long as he doesn't forget about the Widowmine in natural, he's gonna be okay. But
It's happened before.
It has in recent past.
Very recent. In fact, this game.
Oh no! Oh god!
In fact, not 2 minutes
Minigun.
ago. Well,
wait, is it? It's not a range.
Oh, so what happens here? The probe gets in range, but then it goes in the gas. So
yeah,
it changes its mind.
it's not a range of the ones on the minerals.
Well,
it's just hexed too far.
This might actually be.
Wait, but the stalker took 1 step. Minigun forgot
This might
about
be
it,
bad.
but it's out
Like,
of.
because
Oh, no,
okay,
no,
that's the observer.
Yeah.
Right. So he's gonna get that.
It was just a hair out of range, man. A hair out of range.
Okay, so Fenix doing a great job. He's up 126 to 92 in supply.
That's the 3rd base talk.
And the whole thing about this is like he's doing this stuff and he's not really wanting to do too much. Like if he does damage, it's great. But if he doesn't, that's okay because he has his 3rd base on the ground. He's keeping his economy safe. He's keeping his opponent at home, and he's delaying that 3rd base. So he's extending the game while maintaining a better economy as the game goes along, even taking a 4th base as we speak. So I feel like Minigun has to get something done, whether it's a push, whether it's timing, whether it's some sort of War Prism play, or Fenix is just going to get out of control with his production.
I think Minigun's going to lift the turret out to max army and to be very cost efficient there.
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, we see scanning going down. We have an attack toward the 3rd base. Marines and Marauders trying to target down Nexus. We also have a drop in the main. Minigun going to be able to deal with that. But again, Fenix just trying to get decent
Minigun
trades.
supply capped. He can't warp in. And the 2 stalkers can't. Oh, okay. Photon overcharge pushes the drop away. That was almost really, really bad for Minigun.
We have Medevac heading to the natural expansion. Minigun making plenty of Stalkers there to deal with that. He has +2 armor and +1 weapons.
Minigun's showing a good defense. I mean, he's behind from the start, but he hasn't, you know, he's played well. It's the same amount normal being a little behind that he would normally be at, given the way the game's played out without any mistakes. He's going to need to just turtle until he gets Storm and Colossus doing some great micro. Fenix still hasn't added that Ghost Academy yet.
The Templar Archive's just now going down here for chat.
The danger from Minigun definitely is going to be that timing before he gets Storm.
Big drop into the main base. There's 4 Vikings above, and Photon Overcharge going down onto the next. Only a few Stalkers here. Also a drop in the 3rd base here from Fenix. Again, Fenix is absolutely everywhere, and Minigun once again getting spread out pretty thin.
Oh, he's clearing up the drop in the 3rd, but a drop in the main is still doing damage. But actually, that's going to be cleared up too. Taking out a Colossus, though. You know, what's happening here is I think they're trading roughly evenly with this play.
Which Fenix is happy with.
Oh, yeah. His 4th is up. Even as long as he keeps trading down, what happens is Minigun is turtling on 3 bases until he can get a very strong maxed army. Then he can move out and take a 4th. So if they keep trading, if Minigun never gets to that max army, he's going to starve on 3 bases. That's the exact gameplay that Fenix is aiming for. Keep these trades up so Minigun doesn't have the army strength to move out and take that 4th base.
See,
and in fact, Minigun's actually just knocking 3/3 upgrades, and I think that's because he knows he needs to build his army up. Oh, is he going to move out and try to do an attack with only Archons and Gateway units?
It's looking very like there's still no Ghost Academy though.
That.
But I feel like with proper positioning, once the Vikings take out the Colossi,
there aren't even any.
I mean, okay.
Literally, there's no AoE. He's no AoE. There's no Storm.
He hasn't started Storm.
There's a hallucinated Colossus.
Oh.
Does that count?
No.
No. Oh.
It doesn't.
So as soon as they fight, Minigun's army should evaporate because it's upgraded quality. In fact, shortly Fenix will have the upgrade advantage with the 3rd attack upgrade.
Fenix charging forward.
I mean, the Archons are great, but there's just too much damage output.
So many Marines and Marauders here from Fenix. He wants to take this game right here, right now. Minigun trying to make something happen, but he's so far down in supply, and again, doesn't have the AoE that he needs. 2 Archons is not going to be enough, and there's the GG from Minigun. Fenix taking the game, and of course, you know, a game dictated by just having all the momentum the entire way. Fenix was dictating the game. He was dropping here, dropping there, making Minigun make reactions to these drops. Getting some, you know, albeit a little bit lucky on with the Widow Mines. Minigun unable to identify that one in his main base for the longest time. That Widow Mine getting up to 10 probe kills in the very early stages of the game. That's a very big deal. But more importantly, behind all that, Fenix making SCVs, taking additional expansions, proceeding with his tech, staying on top of his scouting. You know, just making all the right moves as he's getting that aggression done.
That's really what it was. I mean, the advantage he got early, he just kept it. And it's so important there to not both suicide your army into a bad position because Minigun has force fields, he's got Colossi. If he takes a good fight, he gets right back in the game. But the same hand, you don't want to let him max out because then if it's max versus max, even if you have more economy, if you take a bad fight, you're still going to lose. So Fenix found a way to get the army traits he needed to maintain that army advantage and prevent Minigun from developing that Protoss stat ball.
Fantastic game there played by Fenix. He's going to take the 1-0 advantage in this oh-so-important match. Again, the winner of this match will advance on to play Apocalypse for a chance to be in the round of 16 of Season 1 WCS America Premier League. The loser of this match will be knocked down to the Challenger League and out of the Premier League. Guys, stay tuned. Game 2 coming up.